Bitcoin was heading up to, looks like it was going to 80,000, right? Bitcoin went up to 79,500, and then you know, it bounced back. It looked like it was resistance. This is a critical level because this was prior resistance. So if Bitcoin is able to break through this level and sustain it, um, I will be surprised. I don't think it will be able to, but you know, anything is possible in crypto. And crypto is also very, very tricky, right? Because how things look right now, a lot of bears are turning into bulls. And this is what happens in crypto. People invest at the worst moment possible when they shouldn't invest, and they get out of the market at the worst moment possible when they shouldn't get out of the market. So this is looking to me like a bull trap. And I think a tremendous amount of investors are going to get their liquidity caught once they put their money into this market. Uh, if I were a market maker in this situation, I would probably push Bitcoin above 80,000, a little above 80,000, so that people become more bullish and put their capital in. And once people put their capital in, that's probably a very good moment to dump the market. I think it's quite possible that that's what we're watching. We might be watching the makings of a bull trap. What I will say is that the political events that's been going on between the Strait of Hormuz, Iran, Israel, U.S., this situation, if tensions ease or if they get to some kind of stalemate or something along those lines, it could also be another temporary relief. But my instincts on this entire thing is that at some point there's going to be something that happens that crashes the market. I think that we're gonna. I think that this is a bull trap, and we're gonna go lower. Now, when we do go lower, if we go lower, there's a good chance we won't go that much lower than where we've been, right? So on the next wave down, I think that would be a good time to start accumulating altcoins. I do believe that the whole culmination of, as far as like the end of the bull run, so far is playing out that it's going to be roughly October of 2026, right around fourth quarter of this year. So if everything continues like it always does, a 4-year cycle, that's roughly around a time period where we're anticipating the end of the bear market. And if that's going to be the case, then accumulating altcoins before then, or accumulating the cryptos that you believe in before then, will probably be a good decision because people are going to front run that culmination of the bear market. Everything on this channel is not financial advice; it's just my opinion. But so far, the cycle seems to be playing out just like before. Do remember that we did have relief rallies in the prior bear markets, so this is a relief rally. As I mentioned before, we do not know how high it's going to go, but I think that there's a good chance that we flirt with the 80,000 level to get people to invest their capital and to get leverage longs trapped. I think it's a very, very good chance that we continue to get a fake out to the upside. Again, because of where we are in the cycle, because of where we are with the S&P 500, because of where we are with the political climate and everything that's going on, and more importantly, because where we are in the charts, none of this looks to me like this is a natural bullish impulse. That this is just a normal impulse. If you look at the moves up, it's not followed by volume. It's not followed by conviction. It seems to me that market makers are playing a game, and this game that they're playing is to pull liquidity into the market. So I do believe at some point we're going to get a flush out of uh, over enthused investors. I do think that this whole thing is a trap. Now, if this turns out to not be a trap, that this is actually the startage of bullish momentum, I will say that still will definitely be a very big problem because if if the market continues upwards, right? There's just not enough. There's not enough steam. There's not enough power left because of where we are in the economic cycle, meaning that the Bitcoin cycle is connected to an overall financial economic cycle where there's boom and bust. And basically, we're at a time period where things are supposed to bust as far as inflation, as far as markets, and you can see that going on in the background with different political events. We're at a time in the economic cycle where things, credit starts to become tight, interest rates are high, inflation is high, people do not have the jobs that they once had. And if you look at the consumers, right, we're in a K-shaped economy. If you look at the consumers, you'll see that people are strapped, people do not have enough cash. And you'll witness that by seeing how many people are checking out crypto. And you could just go to the mall, go to your local mall and see how many people are shopping. You'll notice that people are tightening their budget. So what I'm trying to say is that as we head into the summer months, regardless of what the market's doing, the people are not going to be spending money, which means that the people are not going to be buying altcoins as much. So any momentum that Bitcoin has to the upside will be short-lived and could be a good shorting opportunity, not financial advice. And I'm anticipating a pullback. Now, on this pullback, should the pullback come, I think it would be a very good opportunity to start accumulating altcoins. And hey, Jack, how you doing? What's going on? Faisal, what's going on? All right. So I think this will be a very good opportunity to start accumulating altcoins. The first dip to 60,000 was a good opportunity to accumulate some altcoins. The second dip will also be a good opportunity to accumulate, and we don't know how far the dip's going to go, when the dip comes, and we don't know how low altcoins could go. One thing I will say, if you look at the total three, especially the total 10, that's excluding Bitcoin, ETH, and the top 10 altcoins. If you look at that chart, you'll see that we're in a very precarious situation. And that chart looks like it has another, I think, like 30% or so to drop. So, should that happen, I think that would be a good time to accumulate altcoins that I'm going to hold for the next year, 2 years, um, depending on how I think the cycle is going to run, right? So it's just a matter of being patient. Remember that the market is for the patient, it's not for the impatient. So if you're patiently able to accumulate with small amounts, not the whole bag, the small amounts along the way during a bear market, that's actually a good scenario to set you up for a bull market. That way, when the bull market comes in the future, next year, we're anticipating, then you won't have to scramble. You won't have to be out here scrambling and scraping for altcoins, all right? So, let's take it easy. Don't get too alarmed. At this point, you should be building up cash. If you have one form of income, you should probably try to get another source of income, and that could be your gambling money, for lack of a better term, your investment money. Because you do not want to use capital in this market, especially during these precarious times. That is your living capital that you need it to do something. You need it to make gains. Don't use any of that money. Just use extra money. Money that you would have blew on Starbucks or the casino or someplace like that, and slowly accumulate into altcoins. Not financial advice. That's what I would do in this situation, and just take it easy. What's going on in the world? You could sense it in the atmosphere. It's very precarious out here in every aspect. There's a lot of things that I see going on in the world that it does seem very, very strange, right? There are geopolitical events that we see as strange and very precarious, that we're teetering on an edge. If you look at the Strait of Hormuz, they control a great portion of the fertilizer and fertilizer that supplies to the food to Africa and the Asian continent. And if something were to happen, if that remains closed, there are many countries that their civilization is going to suffer tremendously, right? So what I'm trying to say is that we are at a teetering point. Now, right now, it looks like things are cooling off, that we're not going to go there, but the situation is not resolved. So that's geopolitical, right? But there are other things that are going on in the world now too, that it just seems that there's too many newsworthy events happening at the same time. The U.S. Circling the moon 8 to 10 times. I have my own theories on that too. There's information going on as far as presidents and files, and there's too much going on. So what I'm trying to say is that just manage your risk and only put small amounts of money that you're not afraid to lose, and also anticipate another leg down. I think there's a very, very good chance that we get another leg down, and the next leg down could, um, it could not be that much lower, right? Maybe we're talking about mid 50s, or we might hit the 40s. You don't know how much lower it can go. All right. So that's pretty much what I got for you today. Nothing really changed in my thesis. I know that the market is pushed to the upside, and I know that when the market pushes to the upside, we become more bullish. But if you look at the structure of the chart, nothing changed in the structure. So the market makers at this point will have to push it above 80K if they really want to convince people that we're heading into a bull run. And if they do so, they'll be able to attract a lot of capital. I still don't think that we're properly set up for a bull run, because even with the market pushing to the upside, you'll see that we've been having decreasing volumes for a very, very long time, ever since the bear market started, even with the price pushing up. And more importantly, if you look at a coin like Ethereum, it has even less volume, right? So this is the market update with Crypto.XL. I will keep riding out with you throughout this bear market and into the bull run and to better sunsets. Take care. Peace out.